Yeah, right there, if you will, because you're basically talking to us.
You guys, addressing you. Okay. My name is Greg England. I live in Missy Lane, Harrison subdivision. I do not have a child in the school system. I have a daughter in politics, and she's in the spring school system. I rise in support of youth trusted basketball coach Jim Sanderson. I had an opportunity to work in a Southern Conference as a basketball referee for many years. I worked at Baldwin University's games on many occasions, and I had a good working relationship with Coach Sanderson. Had many ball games with him against Joe Day, Birmingham Southern, Larry Chapman, and AUM. Very hotly contested games. Coach Sanderson was always very professional and took care of business on the basketball court. I had an opportunity to work a lot of his basketball scrimmages at Baltimore University. He was very professional with his players. He expected them to do what they needed to do to play at a higher level, and that he will do it to Trussville High School. We as citizens of Trussville have not gotten the full information on Coach Sanderson's situation at the high school, and as I understood you say, we'll not discuss that, but I'm just rising in support of Coach Sanderson. We need to know what's going on with him at the high school and to move forward with this. I'd like for everyone in here in support of Coach Sanderson to raise your hand. Thank you very much, and thank y'all for listening to me. Y'all have a great day. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I have two children in the school system, a third grader and a kindergartner. I want to thank the school board for letting me talk here, and I also want to thank you for all the good deeds that you do for the community and the school system. I'm here tonight in hopes that you will do one more. We're here tonight because Coach Jim Sanderson's been removed from his position as the head coach for reasons for me, as a former high school and college athlete, seem very trivial. A lot of the parents and players reached out to me to tell me that they didn't understand what had happened after he was let go, and quite frankly, neither do I. I've read some of the emails and some of the posts on social media about this, and some of these anonymous emails I find to be downright slanderous, and whoever wrote them should be ashamed. I understand that after a lengthy investigation, Coach Sanderson, it turned out that nothing malicious was done on his part, yet a few weeks later he was still let go. And it makes me wonder what he did that was so terrible other than driving these kids to do better. Surely when we interviewed Coach Sanderson, when this group interviewed Coach Sanderson, including some of the board members, they had to know that his coaching style was tough. If you ask anyone around in coaching in the state of Alabama, you would know that. So my question is why were we not prepared to support him when some of the parents of a few of the players complained about this?
Amen.
My concern here is not just for Coach Sanderson's reputation, which will surely be trampled if this decision is upheld. It's also, my concern is for what message it sends to our kids. And that is, if someone pushes you outside of your comfort zone, go complain to your parents, who will in turn go complain to administration, who will in turn make the problem go away. I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't have coaches and teachers who pushed me outside my comfort zone. I ask, for the sake of the young men involved, and for the sake of Coach Sanderson, and for the sake of the integrity of this board and our community, that we reinstate Coach Sanderson immediately as our head basketball coach. It's not too late to do the right thing. Thank you.
I'm Mark Miller. I have a son who's in 11th grade. And 3 others who are already been here or on the way. So I just want to first say that the large majority of us support the assistants who right this moment are doing their job. You know, they know we support them, and they support Coach Sanderson too. Coach Sanderson brought those guys here, and so this in no way is meant as a slap on those guys, but we feel good about those guys. But we feel very strongly about Coach Sanderson. And ultimately, when you break all this down, you guys are the wisdom of the school system. And we have to trust the people on this board to watch over this and investigate this and make a good decision. And we do trust that. And so, you know, what we want to ask is that you do that. I think part of our concerns are that maybe a lot of people have been uninformed because we know that as parents, we were uninformed for a long time. And we had to take some pretty serious measures to become informed. And so we just felt that maybe you guys could be in the same position. And one of our concerns is the message this might send to our kids. You know, one of the biggest ones is a lack of respect for authority. You know, I teach my kids to respect authority. If they're teachers, if they're coaches, if they're Sunday school teachers, if another adult that I entrust them to tells them what they should do, they're to obey them. They're to be obedient. And I don't think if we don't make the right decision here, I think we undermine some of that. And our schools are here to support what we do as parents, you know, not to protect our kids from us. You know? And so I would like to see, I would just, again, I'll underscore what I said. I'm also here to support the man, Coach Sanderson. I have done a pretty good investigation on my own because I couldn't give you information and I can't find anything that done wrong. All he's done that I can see is show tough love and discipline, and we knew that's what we needed, and we needed stability. And I think he gives us that. He wants to be here. And we need someone who wants to be here that is an upstanding, honest, godly man. And I think that that's who he is. I think the wrong decision to direct the man's future. The man has to explain to everybody he goes to the rest of his life. How come he's only here 5 months? I mean, there's stuff that's been sent out all over the internet and everything else. I'll get out of the way. So, at any rate, you know, let me just finish and say that we want to entrust you guys and we want to ask you guys to vet this and investigate it because we want you to know what we have done. Thank you for this.
Ladies and gentlemen, board, my name is James Dixon, 109 Pine Street. I have 3 children in the school system here. I rise to speak on 2 counts. One, to speak in favor of a man, and one, to speak in favor of a young man, his son. Appreciate your protocol to not speak to personal matters in front of the public. I think that is right and appropriate. So I don't ask for questions to be answered. I simply rise to speak on behalf of what I have seen and observed in this meeting. First time I met Jim Sanderson, the first time I encountered him was when he spoke to the parents last spring. And he has not let me forget this, but I made a statement that, well, this is going to be interesting. He came to shake things up, and he did. And it was tough for the kids. They worked harder than they had done in the past. And you can see it in the way they have come together. He made cuts while I was in Africa on a mission trip. So I had to talk to my son, my wife over the phone to hear how that went. As I talked to my wife, she began to tell me that she had seen another side of this man. He teared up talking about how he agonized over cutting these boys who had worked so hard to play his sport for their life. Over the course of the summer, he took these young men to Kentucky for a camp, and I was about to send my son off with a man I did not know. So I went and met him, looked him in the eye. As I stood there with my son, he teared up once again, speaking praise over my son and his character. I began to see a pattern that though this man was tough, he loved the boys. I speak in favor of this man. As I said, I also speak in favor of a young man. I'm raising my son not to be a guy, I'm raising him to be a man. This world is full of guys. We do not stand for anyone or anything except for the pleasure of the moment. These young men have had to sacrifice their time and efforts. Raising my young man to respect authority. The Scripture tells me and him to respect authority, whether it is worthy or not. As best I can tell from what I have seen, this man is worthy of respect. So I simply ask for your help as I raise my son to respect authority.
My name is Greg Stack. I live in Lexington Circle 4277, and I've got children in the public school system. I only need the 3 minutes, but
Your kids on what age are your kids?
I've got an 11th grader and an 8th grader.
11th grade, okay.
I'm here to support Coach Sanderson, and I've talked to Dr. Neal today, and I think I talked to Mr. Roberts Sunday night. And I just want to say I'm in support of Sanderson. I think you guys had the opportunity here to fight what a lot of people consider to be wrong. And I think a lot of people have to feel the same way. But you guys take that opportunity.
Thank you.
Well, great. I'm just saying, well, most of my teammates wish they could be here because tonight was our first practice. Unfortunately, our first practice will not take place with our coach Sanderson. I am here tonight to tell you that I did not understand why this is. When he arrived here, he was tough on us. He worked us harder than we ever worked. A couple of my teammates didn't agree. And they rebelled and complained, but the rest of us, they bought in because we knew Coach Sanderson was the one for us. And when we went to the summer camp as a team, we competed and played with some of the best teams in the Southeast. We held our own, beating several teams despite injuries and depth issues. We turned into a real team over the summer that is due to Coach Sanderson. We returned to school in August. Trouble started. Those are one of 2 players. And had created a firestorm over controversy about the way he treated us. None of this is true. It's just not. And Coach treats us like men, and we're not children. I'm about to graduate and face the real world, and I don't want my mom to hold my hand all the time. I just don't. He pushed us to the things we did not think we were able to do. Coach Sanderson is my 4th coach, and I've only been here for 4 years. And I would love to have the chance to play college basketball one day, but I fear that the other seniors and I might not get the chance because we know that you were chosen as babies. We went through 4 coaches all the years. It's too tough on us. And we're not babies. We all came together, but 2 players. I also want to understand that the underclassmen has a future as well. is not just the seniors, it ain't just the JV. It's about these freshmen. And they want a strong program in which that man, Coach Sanderson, will make a strong program. And I know I got a few seconds left, but I want to say this one team is makes a huge part. It just is. And right now, our heartbeat is messed up because we don't lose the greatest coach that just came in and trusted me. And his job decisions make the right decision. We're not children, we're not babies. We're about to be men, we're about to be
My name's Chuck Russell. I'm with 8160 Carrington Drive. I am a freshman on the basketball team. I'm here to support Coach Sanderson. My kid has played basketball since he was 4 years old. Guys, if y'all want to sit there and watch a kid stand up in front of you and make his entire senior year, I'm not going to do that stuff. You can ask a whole lot of people. To sit there and watch you guys get this away from this varsity, and this man is doing nothing but positive. He's pushed kids. Again, my kid started when he was older. We've played travel ball, we've played church ball, we've played rec ball, we've played up against higher level competition. We've played everything. I've watched coaches come in and brutalize kids. I've watched coaches come in and cuss kids. That man is not going to clean with that. You guys need to be appreciative of what you got here. And I'll tell you what, in the last 20 years of good coaching at Faulkner, when you guys did background check on me, what part of this that caused this uprising ever showed up? And I would venture to guess nothing to do with it. The second thing is, I'm going to ask a question that you cannot answer, but you know who took his place at Faulkner University? His brother. And I'm sorry, but I run a company. If I hired a moron, surely one, I would have kept him around for 20 years. My next step would not have been to hire his brother. So that is one thing I would not have done. And if you guys think his practices are tough, I'm sorry, I may have insulted him on that. I said, Coach, you can't be that bad. They're just running. And yeah, you got to grab a kid and move him here there. But you got to to a football practice.
Amen. Right.
After a kid made errors at third base, watched the coach shoot baseballs at him for 2 solid hours, 60 balls, until he sat there and was black and blue. Haven't you need to go? Because this is my life. I support this guy because of everything that he's done. I have seen my conversation with him, with all the things. My kid broke his arm over the summer at the Kentucky trip. He called my kid on a regular basis to check on my kid and a relationship. There is a difference between coaching college and coaching high school. It's a learning transition for him, just like it's a learning transition for the kids. They're growing up. It's nothing that tough. If you want to sit here and watch all these kids get handed to, then good luck with every other sport and every other kid starting to come at you.
Amen.
So my question is, please go ahead and do me a favor and start him back immediately, because if he is good enough to coach freshman varsity, still be in that school right now, then he should be on that court coaching those kids. If he's not good enough, then get him out of the school for that. I want to say that, that's straight heart to these kids.
Well, I don't have any kids in the school system. They're all grown up. 59, not new trace, but I haven't been there very long. There's a lot of things I could say. I don't only have 3 minutes. But the question I've been asking here is, Mr. Lake, is this to people that are above me. Did you discover that there is dishonesty and impure motives behind what has happened? Would you change the decision? And I have not gotten a good answer. If the answer is yes, I've got a great chance. If the answer is no, and that says something about the individual that I took the question to. I came here in May. Came here in May 1, and school is about to finish up, and they have fourth period athletics, fourth period basketball, and it was a mess. The kids were going down to the field house, they were late, they didn't want to work out, not all of them, but select few, but it was a pretty bad situation. And so I may have made a mistake because I'm not here just to get a paycheck, okay? Cannot tell you how many times I've been to lunch and to dinner with countless parents and kids. And I did that starting in May. I met with a family, met with a gentleman and his son, trying to get the young man to step forward and be a little more coachable, be on time, do the things that you try to do in our basketball program that we're trying to move forward. I thought that went well, but later on I come to find that they didn't appreciate that. I work face to face. I don't dilly dally, I don't hide behind emails and anonymous stuff, anonymous phone calls. I don't do that, okay? If you have an issue with me or if I have an issue with that individual, then I go to that individual. And that's how you build a program. And I feel like we have empowered kids to think that it's okay just to do what you want to do and there's no repercussion. And sometimes you have to give kids some tough love. And that's just part of the growing up process. And there is a learning curve between me coaching college and high school basketball. And the statement was made that I wouldn't budge is an absolute false. And I have worked to adjust my style of coaching. I have not one time gone over the top where it's like, oh my goodness. And so all the things that go out there, it's either a false statement or it's exaggerating stuff. And I can't get into all that right now, obviously. But I'll say this. It's going to be a travesty if we don't take a stand and try to help our kids grow up and be young men that they can stand on their own 2 feet and not always come in there and sweeping the path clean. Do I need to improve? We all need to improve, okay? But I've been doing that. And I just feel like I've been done an injustice. And I'm sure the people who disagree with that can say a whole lot more, but I appreciate it so much.
I'm glad to see you.
I'm here tonight to, one, because of my position, but two, to say I want you guys to know I support you. I know why each one of you sit where you sit tonight. It's not because of money, because there isn't money. It's not because of prestige, because there isn't money. It's not because you campaigned for this, because you didn't. You guys sit here because you were asked. You love our schools, you love our community, and you were asked to serve on this, and that's why you did. And most of you took time to carefully consider and pray about this. And that I appreciate. And I want you to know, I don't know the facts. I read the paper, I hear people, I have phone calls. I don't know the facts. You guys know the facts. You guys have all been successful in your business life, your professional life. You all reached the pinnacle in your profession. You did that because you're great leaders, because you research and understand facts. And I want you to know I trust you. And I know that you guys love this school, and you love this city. And if you will do, once you investigate all the facts, you will do what's right for our school and our city. And I want you to know that I trust you, that you will do that. And I thank you for serving really when you have to serve.
I'm David Guttery, live at 8200 Sycamore Trail. I have one son, but he graduated. Was the last year freshman level. I rise in support of Coach Sanderson and the young men who play basketball for us, and as a fellow coach from a different level. Next month, we'll start my 13th year to coach my 20th team at the recreational level. Most of those years I was spent coaching 8th and 9th grade movers. By my last count, 25% of last year's varsity squad and this year's varsity squad played for me. That meant I had that much to do with their success. I was given an opportunity by God to put trusted them in their sails and further them on down the path, just like so many other coaches. My heart hurts for these parents and these players, though, because I know the countless hours, dollars, and time, effort spent in developing them as basketball players, camps, and summers that they gave up, and opportunities to work, due to the demands of the basketball schedule, to be here right now and to play for this team, to play for this school, and this would be the fourth coach in the fourth year. It was very disruptive. Coach Gerald Clark at Bradshaw High School had the greatest impact on my life. He was my coach my 9th grade year. To this day, 33 years later, what I teach my young men came straight from him. And I have to wonder to what degree might these young men be impacted by Coach Sanderson. 33 years down the road from now, what teams might they be coaching? Children of children down the road that might be impacted by Coach Sanderson if given the opportunity. It's my understanding that Coach Sanderson had a phenomenal 3-on-3 league that involved a lot of recreation with kids. Zach Manning and I were very close to it. It's something I dreamed of. Glad that we had this. And from what I understand, the rec league parents were very receptive and loved him for that. That was his own initiative and authority. And I really admire that about him. And I would like to take just a second to recognize Glenn Horsley, who you heard from. He was the best player, arguably, I think the best player that I've ever coached. You'll never find more drive or the heart of the line in a young man like Glenn Horsley. I'm proud of you standing up for the rest of the board. But players like him are the face of you at Trustful Athletics. Coach Sanderson, I'm assuming you vetted his credentials before you hired him, because you hired him. I'm assuming that you found them acceptable. My question is, how much can you know of a man in just a few months? I would ask the board respectfully to give the man a chance. Let him show you what he's capable of doing. Let him adjust from the college level to the high school level and have an impact on these young men that have apparently bought into what he is trying to teach them. Thank you for
Thank you.
I want to thank the board for allowing the community to come up here and talk. My name's Jen Hope. I'm a resident of Trustful at the top of Forest Drive. I have a son in middle school athletics, and I have a daughter in high school band. I've coached many of the kids in this community from a recreational level to a competitive level. Worked very closely with a lot of the kids in this community. But I wanted to address the board in support of Coach Sanderson in my short dealing with him in the last few months. And more importantly, I wanted to remind you guys, along with the community, the reason that we're all here. We're all here for these kids. That's the main reason. We're obligated to provide the kids with the tools they need to be successful, whether it be in life, on the court, or on the field. It's bottom line, it's our obligation. You know, consistency is one of the greatest tools and lessons that we could ever give any of these kids, especially at such a young age. They're looking for that consistency in their life. We're only causing a disadvantage when year after year we insert new coaches into the situation. You know, kids are resilient, they're up against a lot of things, and they can overcome a lot of things. But over the last 3.5 years, we've created a serious disadvantage for them. And so what I'm going to ask the board to do is I'm going to make a recommendation in support of Coach Sanderson to bring him back. Give him an opportunity to bring the program, his program, his way. He brought his guys over here, and you have to give him the time to shape the program. Obviously, there's been many voices here tonight. All of them are in support. If there was so much dissupport for him, you would have heard that tonight. And this is the voice of the community. Everybody has come here on their own time and own accord to address this matter and to give you a true feeling of how the community feels. We don't want to go through another coaching carousel. Everybody that has had a short time with Coach Sanderson has very positive words to say about it. So I'm just going to ask the board to take that into consideration as you gather the rest of your facts. And just know that the entire community, with the exception of 1 or 2 people, stand behind this coach. Thank you.
My name is Victoria Howell. I live in Canterbury Place, and I have a daughter who graduated in here. Playing college sports. And I have a son who is in the 10th grade. And I would just like to say that I applaud particularly the players who have come here tonight to voice how they feel and to show their support. I think that it is an excellent example of the democratic process, and the fact that they're standing up, I think is exemplary. I would also like to say that this issue started a long time ago, and I think the fact that you have some players who have very serious issues really, I think, show their passion for their sport, and I think they also show their passion by being able to stand up for what they believe. Continuously go out to the practices and do everything that they were asked to do because they have a passion for the sport. And I think they show their true character by being able to stand up for what they believe, whether it wasn't in support of the things that were happening with Coach Sanders. They still stood up for what they believe, and they still went to practice day in and day out, and did what they were asked to do. And I think for us to consider they're not here tonight is in some way reflective of them not standing up for what they believe is totally untrue. And I think that is doing an injustice to those who are willing to stand up when it was especially unpopular to do so, to stand up for what they believe. And I just wanted you to know that. I think the parents brought the issues to you guys because they too trusted in the process. Still trusting the process. And we will continue to do so as we have to change minds and
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Damana Odom, and I'm with 5758 Buckingham. I don't have a child in the trust system, but I am a basketball trainer. And I have several camps in the trust system. I do see kids in the audience that attended my camps and kids in the audience that I have trained. I'm here in support of Coach Sanderson. I met Coach Sanderson with Zach Manning. He reached out to me and explained to me that he was finding a coach that was willing to step up and to take initiative to improve the skill level of the kids in the trust system. I'm originally from North Carolina, so basketball is a youth field. And when I initially met Coach Sanderson, I got a special vibe from him. And a guy who was willing to work with the youth like I do myself and take a lot of pride. I also have had lunch several occasions with Coach Sanderson and found that he was a praying man, a man who was a religious man and also loves the game. There's something special about that. To see the support that the people in the community is coming out to give Coach Sanderson is a very big deal. I've been here for 3 years and haven't heard more about trustful basketball since I've been here. Everyone is speaking about it since he came aboard. And what I want to say is that the board, you guys will take it into consideration. Under the second guess, you really have a special gentleman back there that is willing to improve the athletic system at Trust, and I really believe that the young kids, athletes and Trust will benefit from it. Thank you all for that.
26, I was in the room. I have 2 kids in the school system, as a 4th grader and kindergarten. I'm here standing to support Coach Sanderson and any other coaches related to stuff. I actually played football at Auburn University. Graduated from there in the year 2000. When I graduated, I went on to play for Dallas Cowboys. So I had coaches, I played with coaches that were labeled as tough and demanding my entire career. And there were a lot of times throughout my career that I really didn't understand all the lessons and everything they were trying to teach me. But as I grew up, and as I became a husband, and as I became a father, I started to take root of all this stuff. And I made sure I reached out to every one of those coaches and I told them thank you for helping me to actually become a man. I feel like the kids here at Trustful actually deserve that same type of option in their life to go. I just hope that the board does the right thing and put those sanctions back in place. Thank you.
Appreciate the opportunity. I'm going to do something else. My name is Powell. I live at 739 Shady Oaks Lane, Trustful, Alabama. I'm a resident of this community. I brought business to this community. I love Trustville. To be very honest with you, about a year or so ago, I was ready to move. I've coached flag football, Zach knows that. I had gotten so ingrained, but I was ready to go. I was just concerned with the direction of the program. I have a 9th grader, 4th grader, and 2nd grader in this program. And the 9th grader, 7th grade year, he made the team. After he got his cut list, came to the truck and said, son, you know what this means? You got to work with it hard. I didn't blame nobody. We buckled down, started working with the trainer. 8th grade year, we made the team. Son, we need to buckle down now. 3 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock, when you get up, you can drill. You need to be doing all the extra things that you need to do to prepare yourself. 9th grade year, we prayed, fasted, had the church praying. But I would like to say we know that God can do anything, but he put the work in. And he learned that lesson. And I tell people all the time, the best thing that could happen for him was that denial of 7th grade and that denial of 8th grade. Because it lit a fire under him. And he gets up every day, dribbles, he does the things necessary. I saw that same fire when Coach Sanderson came. I saw the same thing, and I just asked just for a moment, just take a bigger view. I don't know all the details of it, but it didn't feel right. My son came home on a Monday, hey, Coach Sanderson's gone. We didn't get an email, we didn't get a phone call. I have 20 people that work for me. I go through HR. That's very odd. It just didn't feel right. I can deal with and understand. I know your position. I understand you got to go, but just the way I went down, and you saw my 2nd grade, my 4th grade, he's working with them. We were so excited for the first time. And I'm committed to Trustville. You can ask my friend. We buying Trustville gear. We going to the games. I'm here, and I feel like there's a great opportunity here. There's a great. I mean, I was so excited, and then when I got that news, it was like the whole rip. I mean, I was back to square one again. Is this it? Because when we was on a Tuesday night, on a Thursday night, with Coach Sanderson with my 4th grade, because he had a vision for where we're trying to go. And I caught that vision. Hey man, it's gonna start right here. We gotta change our mindset to work. My son, he'll come in, man, Coach Randall, but I knew the more you work, the harder you work. The Bible talks about trials. He talks about battle situations. And those things that we learn from those things, in those situations, that if I can make it through this year, maybe you know what? That wasn't about breaking point. And maybe I could go a little bit farther. And now when we compete against the other schools and these different things, this is what Trustville needs. It ain't about what my status is. It's about my ability to do what I've trained and what I've done. And I asked the board again, reconsider it. Nope. I mean, he's got this program headed in the right direction. That's what I asked the board. Thank you for your time.
My name's Harry Gulledge. I live at 5334 Magnolia South Drive in Trustville, close to the Dome. My oldest son was Mr. Hewitt in 2006. My youngest son was the first senior class president at the new high school. My oldest stepson graduated 2 years ago. And my youngest stepson now is a 10th grader and on the JV team at Trustville. This is not what we need to do. I'm telling you, this is a systemic problem that we have going. I'm not attacking anybody, but somewhere along the line, integrity has to rise to the top. It has to. 2 or 3 people can call and complain, and it seems like in multiple cases that I'm very aware of, including one of me, people at the board office cave. This has got to stop. If 2 or 3 people get unhappy, you're sending a message that they can get their way if they just call and yell. I'm sorry. I just met the man really face to face for the first time just a couple of weeks ago. I've been in meetings with him, but it's a crowd, you know how the crowds are. And I'm telling you, as somebody who was a pastor for 15 years, and somebody that's worked with kids and deals with people in their homes, day in and day out, week in and week out, year in and year out, I'm telling you, there's nobody more genuine than Jim Sanderson. This is not Wimp we're talking about here. This is Jim. He doesn't jump up and down and holler and scream like his daddy did. He doesn't take his coat off and throw it around the room and wave it like he's crazy. But the man, I would love the opportunity to go back in time and play for him. I played for a guy that played at Alabama that played football. He didn't know a thing about basketball. He played football for Bear Bryant, hurt his back, and he was our defensive coordinator in football in high school. And we didn't have anybody else to coach, so he took it over. And his comment to us was, guys, I may not know a lot of basketball, but nobody will be in better shape than we are. We out-hustled everybody. We didn't have a great record, but people respected us because we gave great effort. My youngest stepson was kicked out of practice this summer one day, and his mother went to pick him up. And when she asked him why, he kind of hung his head, and he said, they told me I wasn't giving good effort. 3 players were kicked out of practice that day and told to go home. When he got home, I was told what happened. I looked at him, I said, well, were you hustling? And I see the zeros. And he hung his head and didn't even have to answer. And I said, that's all I needed to know. You need to work hard. There are a lot of facts out there you may not be aware of, and I'm going to tell you, you need to work hard. This man does not deserve what has happened in this case. My stepson went from 7th grade making the team, 8th grade not making the team, 9th grade making the team, 10th grade with Kentucky. He made the all-tournament team in Kentucky that was out of the blue and nobody expected it because of the coaching of Jim Sanderson. And only the coaching of Jim Sanderson who pushed him to be everything he can be. And now, Coach Thomas, I know Coach Thomas said, if he keeps working like he's working now, he may get a chance to play college basketball. Jim Sanderson needs a chance, and our kids do too.
Thank you. I appreciate everyone coming. I appreciate the respect that we've shown for each other, and a lot of people think the Board of Education is involved in every daily thing and everything that goes on in the whole situation. Coach Sanderson was not on the agenda. I think most of you know that. There was nothing on the agenda tonight concerning Coach Sanderson. The board, a lot of people don't realize this, but the school board can't meet. I can meet with Sid and talk to him. I have not had one word with any of those 3 members there about the situation at the moment, because we can't. The only time we could meet is an advertised meeting, and so I just want you to get kind of a picture of where we are. We're going to take everything you said into consideration. We have no recommendation from Dr. Neal at the moment, our math lab director, and whatever that recommendation is, we'll weigh it real heavily. We'll listen to what we've heard here tonight. We'll evaluate the thing, and we'll make the best decision that we think is the right decision. Someone made a statement, I'm not gonna say much, but if you holler loud, you get this board's attention, do that. I would take exception to that. This board really tries to make decisions on facts. Facts gets in the way a lot of times of good stories. But if we try to look at what the facts are, the best of our ability, we'll make the decision that we think is best for our school, and we'll go with it. So, see it before we dismiss, before we do something. You have anything to add?
I do. I just want to re-echo what Mr. Roberts said. We're grateful you came out tonight. You know, we do a lot of these meetings in silence, so it's great to see a crowd out. Sorry that this is under negative circumstances. It is important to reiterate what Mr. Roberts said. We don't make management or administrative decisions as a board of education. The other thing that I think is important to understand, because some of you have alluded to this tonight, is we don't conduct our own investigations as a board either. And I'd say this, you don't want us to. We are volunteers, as Alan said, that love our system, we love our schools, and we spend hours each month trying to do the best we can. But you won't pay professionals to run your school system. And you want us to try to put the very best paid professionals in place that we can find. And if they're not doing a good job, you want us to change them out. In the meantime, we depend on the recommendations of our administration, and our administration depends on the recommendations of its leaders. It's a hierarchical structure like every other one, in your church, or your home, or in your business, or in a civic organization that you belong to. So we have to trust that the process is working, and to the extent that we feel like it's not, then we need to make a change with the people that are leading the process, not change the decisions that people are making in the process. So I'm grateful you came, but I do want you to understand the responsibility that we have and the role that we play. And my last comment is this: I believe we have a culture of success and trustful with regard to athletics.
Not basketball.
You can look at a lot of things in our system that are working in that regard.
Not basketball.
And it is my hope that we can do that in basketball. Making changes, whether we're talking about changes now or changes in the past, are not easy. And we're grateful for those that stand by us as we try to do the best thing for the system.
Yes, I won't say anything about the process, but I would just like to say that I appreciate everyone's passion for the sport, and I appreciate your passion for the athletes. And I'd like to say a special thanks to I'd like to say a special thanks to you for standing up and speaking from your heart, and certainly standing behind the sport that you obviously love. Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for everybody that spoke. I appreciate it. I think that there is a process, and I'm grateful that you come to speak. I think it's wonderful. And I hope that we always keep that. And thanks to each of you. You cared enough to do that tonight. We appreciate it.
Alan, thanks for what you said, because it's a good reminder of, you know, our job and our position up here. And I think it was you that said it. You know, you're here for the kids, and I think that's bottom line. It's what we're here for. We are all here for the kids. We've either had kids in the school system. I had 5. Everybody on this board had kids, and we are here for the kids. And so we're thankful that you came, and thankful that we're able to hear you.
How do you have anything to add?
I'm just so appreciative that everyone was so respectful of the protocol that we followed. The dignity of the comments just illustrates why this is such a unique and special community and school system. I'm most appreciative. Thank you very much.
Let me recap before we go. Let me recap where we are at the moment. Coach Sanderson is on leave from the basketball program. Coach Thomas is the interim head basketball coach. No action has been taken to this board because no action has come to this board. And that's basically, Coach Neal, am I missing anything there? That's where we are. It's the appropriate time when all, like I said, the board members, I'm going to ask us to go in executive session in a couple of minutes for us to have some discussion about some matters that we have the privilege of doing. And I'll say this before I make that motion. When we go in executive session, we never vote on anything, never do anything at all, and when we come out, we dismiss or we dismiss when we're there. So when you see in a couple of minutes, I'm gonna make a recommendation, we go in executive session. That's always to talk about good name and character of anyone, not necessarily this particular thing, but it could be other things. But that'll be the process. Thank you. And again, I just want to reiterate how thankful I am and how respectful everybody's been with each other. And these are difficult times. And we've got a lot of great things going, and we will continue doing it. And we'll give everything consideration and make the decision that we think is best for our students.
Mr. Governor, you have my certificate of compliance that for us to meet in executive session is consistent with the standards for the Alabama Open Meeting Act, and I anticipate that we'll be in executive session in less than 45 minutes with no action taken on the matters that are set forth in my letter of certificate of compliance.
Can I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second. I recognize a scholar that came in late.
Yeah, Ramona, you have to shake everybody's hand, so let's move on.
From elementary all the way to senior in high school during the summer and into the fall. So developing more and more relationships, but I'm just very appreciative of the support and just hoping and praying that it'll move in the direction that we would prefer.
If you had if you had the ear of the board,
this is question number 2 now.
This is
Here we
question
go.
number 2. You can't give us, you know, you
Okay.
can't do that. But if you could get in the room with the board for just a few minutes, what would you want to tell them?
I'd rather not say right now. That probably doesn't need to be shared at this moment. You know, all the situations going on. So I'll just leave it what I've said already, and just appreciate people coming out, and hopefully we'll move forward and get some things, shed some light on some things in the near future.
Where do you go from here?
Well, a lot will depend on what they do. But just doing a lot of praying and supporting my wife and my family. And I've never been in a situation before. I'm in year number 32 of coaching, and so just one day at a time.
Well, when he first came here at Hewitt Trustful, I saw the spark of what he brought for this table. And over a few months, what he'd been doing over the summer, he became like a father to me. And where I come from is down, I'll go to war with him. And I love him to death. And this decision, what they did, is just totally wrong. And I will stand up for him. I will fight for him.
Have a new coach today, so how are you guys reacting and taking that next step?
It's been very emotional. We're not looking forward at all. We just want Coach Sanderson back. None of us are looking forward. We're just not. We're ready to have our coach back.
Thank you, ma'am.